Hey everyone, John Lorden here with another Wednesday video for you. This is an update on a case that when I originally looked at it, I thought was a searchlight case because it was about a missing person. But then as I looked into the details, there was so much suspicion around the missing person's roommate, I actually wound up making it a BrainScratch case. And this, of course, is the case of Talina Galloway. We've got some very big updates on this case. We're going to go through those together right now. So starting at MuscogeePhoenix.com, this is a picture of the roommate. Her name is Corey. She seems to go by several different last names. Bomelli is one of them. Adams is another. Corey Bomelli, also known as Corey Adams, had reported Talina Galloway missing to Wagoner County law enforcement in mid-April of last year. As investigators began their search, they realized Bomelli was exhibiting suspicious behavior and had been deceptive. Investigators soon realized that Corey Bomelli knew much more than she was sharing with investigators, and she soon became a strong person of interest in the disappearance of Talina Galloway, said Wagoner County Sheriff Chris Elliott. You might remember this is the case where Talina supposedly posts on social media that she thinks she has COVID and that the symptoms seem to be coming on fast, and she doesn't want to go through another experience at the hospital, so she's not going to go to the hospital. Obviously, just the story right on the outset. And there was some things about Talina's backstory where, yeah, she might have been leery about seeking medical help, but of course, it was just very suspicious on the outset. And then combine that with the fact that her roommate doesn't report her missing for, I believe it's 10 days after she actually disappears, is found using her credit cards, her vehicle, I believe, a trailer she owned, all kinds of other stuff that goes south in this case very quickly. The Wagoner County Sheriff's Office later arrested Adams on several complaints, including carrying or being in possession of a firearm as a felon, destroying evidence, and obstruction of investigation. Her bond was set at $150,000. She made bond. While out on bond for those charges, Bomelli has been living in the town of Middleton, a suburb of Madison, Wisconsin. Jumping over to KJRH.com, the Wagoner County Sheriff's Office and the Dane County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin arrested a suspect. 53-year-old Talina Galloway was last seen April 17th, 2020. At that time, her roommate, Corey Bomelli, said Galloway disappeared after being diagnosed with coronavirus. More of the stories coming back to me now. I believe the story was that she was going to go to a cabin somewhere and just try to deal with it on her own. During a press conference, Wagoner County deputies announced on January 19th, 2021, they received reports from Arkansas State Medical Examiner identifying human remains found in a freezer deserted in an area of Arkansas as Talina Galloway. It's so strange to me, a freezer just kind of out in the woods. And they classified the manner of death as a homicide. The medical examiner's report says Galloway died from blunt force head injuries. They also said her body had been decapitated and dismembered. A probable cause affidavit said investigators found what is believed to be blood in the garage and a bedroom of the home Bomelli shared with Galloway. The affidavit provided by the Wagoner County Sheriff's Office stated a search of Corey's cellular phone shows she was performing internet searches for ways to get blood out of concrete and wood. Bomelli is charged with first-degree murder of Galloway, District Attorney Jack Thorpe announced during the press conference. Officials reminded the public this is still an ongoing investigation and to contact authorities if anyone has information in the case. Of course, in the description box down below, we will have the contact information that you need if you do have more pieces of this puzzle and can now help this prosecution phase of this case. So how would that freezer be found out there? And more interestingly, there's a story of possibly a missed opportunity to have made this discovery sooner. Over at NBCnews.com, the freezer was discovered by a witness who had reported seeing a truck and a white cargo trailer last summer on June 8th, 2020. And you might remember from my previous coverage, that white cargo trailer came into the investigation very quickly. They knew there was a trailer. They tracked it down. Apparently someone tried to sell it. The person that bought it wound up hearing about the case, contacting law enforcement and helping to progress it at that point. But it seems like the cargo trailer at that time didn't have any substantial evidence inside of it. Apparently, because it was sitting out here in a secluded area adjacent to the Ouachita National Forest, south of Mena, Arkansas, the sheriff said. The witness was suspicious of the activity and walked into the area. When she caught up to the vehicle, she observed there was no one around, but smelled a foul odor coming from the trailer and said there was a foul-smelling liquid pooled on the floor of the trailer. She obtained the tag information and contacted Polk County deputies. A deputy was dispatched to the area, but there was no contact made between the two, so the witness assumed the matter was resolved. I don't know what to make of the statement that the deputy was dispatched to the area, because if the deputy was dispatched there and then found the trailer, the smell, everything that the witness saw, I would like to think at that point steps would have been taken, and they didn't seem to be taken. So I don't know what happened, but there was some type of missed connection that happened between the witness calling that in, a deputy going out to check on it, maybe not finding the same area, or something along those lines, I believe is more likely for what happened. On January 14th, 2021, the same witness was walking in the woods when she came across a white box top freezer with the lid taped shut. She stated there was a foul smell coming from the freezer. Again, she notified the Polk County authorities of her discovery and supplied the tag information from the vehicle she had previously documented months earlier. If we can learn a lesson from this, she knew something was really strange back in June. I'm so thankful that she kept that note. I don't know if she emailed it to herself or what, but she basically still had the tag information from that vehicle from 7 months prior when she encountered it. So she called that information back in. Sheriff Elliott said it was important to note that the tag number checked back to a missing woman in Wagner County, Talina Galloway. Now there, I just want to also call out, just seems like another missed opportunity, because we're hearing here she notified the authorities of her discovery and supplied the tag number from the vehicle that she had previously documented. I'm wondering if she told them that tag information in the previous call. Because if she did, then we've got another kind of missed opportunity where someone could have run that tag. Oh, it's coming back to a woman. Wait, this woman's missing. Like, that would have been a very big connection to have made back in June. Thankfully, from what I'm seeing here in the news articles, the information that they're able to get, particularly on the medical examiner's front, is still very strong, very solid. I don't think it's going to hurt the investigation too much, this gap of time. But, missed connections like that, it's just one of those things. And another lesson we can take from this, what an amazing person this witness, goes back out to that same area. I don't know if it's an area they would frequently hike in or something, a place they would walk through occasionally. But for them to just be that aware, hey, this is the same thing I called in before, I'm calling it in again. Sometimes you do have to reach out to law enforcement more than once. That's definitely something I've heard over the years of looking into this stuff. But we have a quote here from Sheriff Chris Elliott. I've always said a law enforcement agency's greatest resource is the citizens we serve out there. They are our eyes and ears. They're the ones, a great many of times, who are the ones that come forward with information that will break a case wide open. This is just a great example of that. It's my mission to bring justice to the family and friends of this Wagner County citizen that unlawfully lost her life, said Thorpe. Thorpe is the Wagner County District Attorney. That's Jack Thorpe that made that comment. So, remains found, arrest made. But we've got a little bit of a challenge in the fact that she's in a different state at this time. We've seen in some other cases that we've covered here on the channel, sometimes they'll try to fight extradition, something like that. Can we find an update in terms of what's going on with the current status of actually getting her back into the right state for further prosecution? And for that, we're going to jump to swtimes.com. Eastern Oklahoma prosecutors announced Corey Bemelli Adams, 59, of Verona, Wisconsin, has been charged with first-degree murder and desecration of a corpse in connection with her alleged killing of her roommate, Talina Galloway. Adams was taken into custody in Dane County, Wisconsin, around 5 p.m. Apparently, they rolled up on her, kind of conducted a traffic stop, and then wound up arresting her. And she was there Saturday on an extradition hold, according to arrest records. She has waived her right to fight extradition back to Wagoner County for prosecution, the State Journal reported. So it seems like something that's usually not the biggest thing, but kind of a stopgap in terms of justice occasionally, fighting that extradition. Not happening in this case. And this article reported this 3 days ago. So I would imagine very close to the time that you're seeing this, she's probably on her way back to face further prosecution. I don't know if additional charges might be coming. They already had a whole bunch of charges on her. Now we've got more serious charges. I don't know if that's all going to get combined into one case. But with a story like this, with a case like this, there's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of investigation that still has to happen. And quite honestly, we're probably not going to see any significant developments in court outside of her going in, pleading guilty or not guilty. But it could be a year or two before we actually get to the real trial and figure out what's going to happen for justice in this case. Thankfully, even right from the first episode of BrainScratch we did, there was so many strong indicators. I don't think investigators are going to have a problem putting the trail of evidence together to point to her. But some of that could be largely circumstantial. There really needs to be some type of solid connector with her physically to this event. And I think it's fairly simple in this because she's the one that has access to the vehicle, to the trailer, to the home. But you never know what a defense attorney, what a good legal defense team can pull together. So might be a few more hurdles here, but for the friends and family of Talina Galloway, a giant step in the right direction. And I truly believe in the bottom of my heart, we do have justice coming on into this case hard and fast. I'm feeling pretty strongly we've got a really good chance that Corey's going to be spending a long time behind bars for this. So that's the update. Thank you guys so much. I might be dropping a special little kind of just extra video on the channel tomorrow on Thursday, something we haven't done in a long time. But of course, we'll be back with a full new episode of BrainScratch on Friday. Take care, everyone. I'll see you again here on the Lord and Arts channel.